This is one of those questions I think almost every practitioner wrestles with at some point, most certainly myself, numerous times on the path. And that's whether or not we should be charging for the work that we do. And underneath this question is usually a tangled mess of emotions, guilt, uncertainty, fear, judgment, shame, panic, distress, anxiety. The work that we do as practitioners is, well, it's heart-centered, it's heart-led work that we do. It's deeply connected to service, to care, to wanting to make a difference in people's lives and in the world. And somewhere along the way, many of us absorb the belief that if we're really in service, if we're really doing this from a place of love and calling and true, genuine purpose, we shouldn't be asking for money. That somehow charging diminishes the work, or that spirituality and money shouldn't mix. But here's the cold hard truth, honey. Okay, here it comes. The work that you do has value. Okay? The work that you do has value. It has immense value. It takes skill, it takes energy, time, and a huge amount of personal investment to hold space for someone else's transformation, for another person's process, for another person's healing. And your ability to keep doing that work, well, that depends on you being well resourced, not depleted. If you can't meet your own needs, you can't sustainably meet the needs of the people that you work with. It's just not going to happen. Charging for your work it's not about greed. It's an exchange. And in healthy exchanges, there is a balance between what is given and what is received. In much the same way, a client brings their openness, willingness, and presence to the work and to the session. So you bring your skill, your time, your focus, your energy. Money is simply one of the ways we balance that exchange in the world that we live in. That's how we as a society have chosen to, do exchanges. So it's also about recognizing the investment that you've already made in order for you to do this work. You have spent time and money and energy learning your modalities, refining your skills, investing into your practice space, purchasing your tools, enhancing your knowledge. You've taken courses, attended trainings, invested in your own growth so that you can offer the best possible service to your clients. That is no different to a graphic designer going off to college, learning their craft, and well, then charging for their expertise. It is the same thing, just different industries and different crafts. Just because your work is spiritual, intuitive, or healing in nature doesn't mean it isn't professional. And professionals, well, they charge for their skills and they charge for their expertise. When we refuse to charge for our services or chronically undercharge, yes, I am guilty of that, what often happens is burnout. And I know because I've done it and I've had the burnout. You start overgiving, overcompensating, overworking, and eventually you land up resenting the work because it's costing you more than you can actually afford. And it's not just financially, it's emotionally, physically, mentally, energetically. And when you're in that place, oh man, you cannot show up as the practitioner that you want to be. No matter how hard you try, you will burn out quick sticks if you keep going like that. Okay. There is also an energetic element to charging. When someone invests in their own process, they're way more engaged, they're more committed, and they're way more likely to do the work and integrate the work. Giving everything away for free can sometimes keep people in a passive role in their experience. You know, waiting for you to do the heavy lifting. You're giving it to me for free, so you might as well do the work as well. If you're handing things out, why not? A fair exchange creates a shared responsibility for the process. If charging for your work feels uncomfortable, and it's going to it somewhere along the line, and if it doesn't, please come and tell me, like share your ways with me. It can help by starting to look at, where does that discomfort come from? Is it an old belief that says helping should be free? Or heck, is it fear of being judged by your peers or your clients? Is it a lack of confidence in your skills? When you can identify the root, you can start to work with it directly to, well, unroot it and get rid of it. You can also look at your pricing through the lens of sustainability, which is a pretty practical lens to be looking through, in all honesty. What does it actually take for you to run your practice in a way that doesn't drain you? And this isn't about luxury six-figure businesses, okay? It's about being able to keep doing this work long term without running yourself into the ground, without running yourself ragged, without running into burnout. Pricing yourself in a way that meets your needs means you can continue to show up for your clients year after year after year, not day after day after day, or maybe week after week, year after year. Okay, sustainability. In the mentoring that I do with a lot of my clients, we talk a lot about practitioner self-responsibility, and part of that is taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. The whole thing of you can't pour from an empty cup. Yes, charging appropriately is one way of doing that. It's not about putting up barriers. It's about creating a structure that allows the work to thrive. Okay, if you have space to allow for discounts and you're working with your clients, then go for it. Then reduce the barriers. So asking the question, are you allowed to charge for this? Absolutely. Not only are you allowed to, you have to, because it is the way to do this work sustainably and ethically. It doesn't diminish the sacredness of what you're offering. It supports it. It keeps you resourced. It respects the value of your time and your skill. And it allows your clients to step into their own commitments to their own work, to their own process. So if you've been wrestling with this question, I invite you to reframe it. Instead of asking, am I allowed to charge for this? Because absolutely, yes, you are. Ask rather, what does a fair, sustainable exchange look like for the work that I'm doing? And when you can answer that honestly, you'll find a place where your needs and your client needs, well, they can meet one another. We have alignment. And that is where your work will flourish.